What happens when you give Arnold Schwarzenegger unlimited ammo, zero logic, and tell him to kill every bad guy in Central America? Commando wasn't just an action movie. It was a one-man army destroying reality itself. These are 10 insane facts that prove when Arnold said he'd be back, physics decided to leave permanently. Fact 1. The Matrix body count madness Commando didn't just have a high body count, it was a genocide with biceps. John Matrix kills 74 people in this movie, and that's just the confirmed on-screen deaths. We're talking about a man who single-handedly depopulates an entire island nation in about 20 minutes. For comparison, Rambo killed 58 people in First Blood Part 2, and that was considered excessive. Matrix doubles that while barely breaking a sweat. The creative death methods are legendary. Machete throws, circular saw decapitations, steam pipe impalement, and the classic let off some steam Bennett moment that became an instant meme before memes existed. Arnold didn't just play a retired Special Forces soldier, he played the Grim Reaper on steroids. The prop department went through more fake blood than a vampire convention, and the body count was so high they stopped keeping official records halfway through filming. This wasn't warfare, it was performance art with explosions. Fact 2. The impossible timeline Matrix told Jenny he'd kill her in 11 hours, but the movie forgot to check the clock. According to the film's internal logic, everything from the kidnapping to the final island assault happens within those 11 hours. But watch carefully and you'll notice something insane. There are multiple day-night cycles. Characters travel impossible distances, and events that would take days are compressed into minutes. Matrix drives from his mountain cabin to the airport, flies to another state, gets in a car chase, visits a gun store, flies to a tropical island, and wages a full-scale war, all before lunchtime apparently. The sun rises and sets more times than a time-lapse video, yet everyone acts like it's still the same day. Either Matrix exists in a universe with 47-hour days, or the editors gave up trying to make sense of anything. Time doesn't just fly in Commando. It gets shot with a rocket launcher and explodes into tiny, illogical pieces. Fact 3. Arnold's improvised one-liners. Arnold didn't just read the script, he rewrote it with pure Austrian genius. Most of Commando's legendary one-liners were completely improvised on set. Let off some steam Bennett wasn't in the original script. Arnold came up with it while filming the pipe impalement scene, and director Mark Lester loved it so much they kept it. I Eat Green Berets for Breakfast was another Arnold creation, delivered with such deadpan perfection that the crew burst into laughter. The famous I lied scene after dropping Sully off the cliff? Pure improvisation. Arnold understood that action movies needed personality, not just explosions. So he turned every kill into a comedy routine. His thick accent made even the most ridiculous lines sound badass instead of stupid. The writers had given him standard tough guy dialogue, but Arnold transformed it into quotable gold. Sometimes the best comedy comes from someone who doesn't realize they're being funny, and Arnold's complete commitment to every absurd line made them legendary. Fact 4. The mall chase impossibility. That mall chase wasn't just filmed in a mall, it was filmed in a parallel universe where physics don't apply. The Sunland Plaza Mall sequence defies every law of space, time, and basic geography. Matrix chases Sully through stores that impossibly connect to each other, runs down escalators that lead to different floors than they should, and somehow the mall's layout changes between shots. Security guards vanish and reappear randomly. Shoppers disappear entirely during the action, and the mall's architecture shifts like a fever dream. The chase covers more ground than the mall actually contains, and Matrix performs stunts that would require supernatural powers. He throws people through glass without getting cut, jumps impossible distances, and the mall's geography rearranges itself to accommodate the action. Either the production team filmed in a magical shopping center, or they gave up on continuity and decided to make the mall a character that could reshape itself. Logic died in that mall, and it was glorious. Fact 5. Dan Hedaya's serious acting approach. While everyone else was in on the joke, Dan Hedaya was fighting for his Oscar. The veteran actor approached his role as the villainous Arius with complete dramatic seriousness, treating the ridiculous dialogue like Shakespeare. While Arnold was improvising one-liners and the action was getting more absurd by the minute, Hedaya was finding emotional truth in lines like, "Your daughter is safe, Colonel. Now whether she stays that way is up to you." He prepared for the role like it was King Lear, developing a complete backstory for Arius and his motivations. During takes, Hedaya would stay in character, maintaining that menacing intensity even when the cameras weren't rolling. His commitment to playing it straight made his performance even funnier, because he was the only one taking any of this seriously. The contrast between his dramatic intensity and the surrounding chaos created unintentional comedy gold. Sometimes the funniest performance in a comedy is the one that isn't trying to be funny at all. Fact 6. The Tool Shed Arsenal. That wasn't a tool shed, it was a military depot disguised as home improvement. Matrix's backyard storage contained more firepower than most third world armies. We're talking rocket launchers, machine guns, grenades, explosives, and enough ammunition to level a small city. The prop department spent a fortune acquiring real military hardware for the shed sequence, and the collection was so extensive they had to hire actual weapons experts to manage it safely. Matrix pulls out weapons like he's selecting gardening tools, casually choosing between assault rifles like he's picking tomatoes. The shed scene became legendary because it represented every action movie fan's ultimate fantasy. Unlimited access to every weapon ever made. The armor and gear Matrix selects would cost millions in real life, but he's got it all stored behind his house like lawnmowers. Either Matrix was the world's most well-prepared retiree, or his gardening hobby involved significantly more explosives than normal. The shed wasn't just a plot device, it was a temple to 80s military fetishism. Fact 7. Rae Dawn Chong's real terror. Cindy wasn't acting terrified, she was legitimately fearing for her life. Rae Dawn Chong was genuinely scared during most of the action sequences because there was no CGI safety net in 1985. Those explosions were real. The gunfire was live blanks, and the stunts were performed with minimal safety equipment. When Matrix drives the car through explosions, Chong's terrified reactions are authentic because real fire was erupting around them. The plane sequence where she's hanging out of the aircraft? That was filmed with a real plane at dangerous altitudes. During the hotel shootout, live ammunition was being fired over her head with only basic safety protocols. Chong later admitted she spent most of the shoot wondering if she was going to survive to see the premiere. Her performance as the reluctant civilian caught in Matrix's war was so convincing because she really was a reluctant civilian caught in Matrix's war. The 80s didn't mess around with safety regulations, and Chong's authentic terror made every action sequence feel genuinely dangerous. Sometimes the best acting comes from genuine fear. Fact 8. The island invasion logic Matrix didn't invade an island. He went grocery shopping with grenades. The final assault sequence represents the complete abandonment of military strategy, physics, and common sense. One man defeats an entire army using tactics that would make Sun Tzu weep. Matrix somehow infiltrates a heavily fortified island, avoids dozens of guards, and systematically destroys everything without backup, air support, or any logical plan. He carries enough ammunition to supply a battalion, moves through enemy territory like he's invisible, and kills trained soldiers who apparently forgot how to use their weapons. The enemy forces have helicopters, armored vehicles, and superior numbers. But they fall apart the moment Matrix shows up with his shopping mall of weapons. Military experts have analyzed this sequence and concluded it's the most strategically impossible battle ever filmed. Matrix doesn't follow military doctrine. He rewrites the laws of warfare through pure Austrian determination. Logic surrendered unconditionally during the island assault, and entertainment value claimed total victory. Fact 9. Vernon Wells' chainmail Sheik Bennett wasn't just the villain, he was a leather daddy with daddy issues. Vernon Wells' costume choices created one of cinema's most unintentionally homoerotic villains. The chainmail vest, leather pants, and mustache combination created a character that looked like he escaped from a very specific type of nightclub. Wells fully committed to the look, understanding that Bennett's obsession with Matrix went beyond professional rivalry into personal territory. The final fight between Matrix and Bennett became legendary not just for the action, but for the subtext. "John, I'm not going to shoot you between the eyes. I'm going to shoot you between the balls" isn't standard villain dialogue. Wells played Bennett as a scorned lover seeking violent revenge, and his performance added layers of camp that elevated the entire film. The 80s were the golden age of accidentally gay villains, and Bennett was the crown jewel. Sometimes the most memorable characters are the ones that exist in multiple genres simultaneously, and Bennett was pure action horror camp perfection. Fact 10. The sequel. That Arnold refused Hollywood wanted Commando 2, but Arnold chose the Terminator instead. After Commando's box office success, the studio immediately began developing a sequel that would have sent Matrix on another impossible mission. Scripts were written, locations were scouted, and the budget was approved, but Arnold walked away. He had bigger ambitions than becoming a one-note action hero, and he saw more potential in James Cameron's Terminator project than in another Matrix adventure. The studio offered more money, better action sequences, and even creative control. But Arnold was done with John Matrix. His decision to choose science fiction over straight action changed movie history. Without Terminator, we might never have gotten T2, True Lies, or Arnold's eventual political career. Commando 2 could have been bigger, louder, and even more ridiculous. But Arnold understood that sometimes you have to leave audiences wanting more. The sequel that never happened became part of Commando's legend, proving that even in Hollywood, timing is everything. Bonus fact, the Porsche scene physics. That Porsche didn't just jump, it achieved temporary flight status. The car chase sequence where Matrix's yellow Porsche launches off a hillside defied every law of physics known to science. The stunt coordinators calculated the jump based on speed and trajectory, but what ended up on screen was pure automotive magic. The car flies through the air for an impossible distance, lands without significant damage, and continues driving like nothing happened. Real Porsches don't possess these capabilities, but Matrix's car apparently came with supernatural suspension and anti-gravity options. The stunt was performed with a real vehicle, real drivers, and real physics-defying results that made automotive engineers question their understanding of aerodynamics. Either the stunt team discovered new laws of physics, or they decided reality was overrated and chose entertainment instead. The Porsche jump became legendary because it represented everything perfect about 80s action, completely impossible, absolutely ridiculous, and utterly entertaining. Commando wasn't just an action movie, it was reality's resignation letter. From impossible timelines to physics-defying stunts, Arnold created the ultimate 80s power fantasy. Hit that subscribe button for more action movie insanity and tell us what's your favorite Matrix one-liner. Thanks for watching, and remember, Arnold will be back.